Hey guys, so last time we looked at long division, now let's look at synthetic division. So synthetic division, we're going to start with writing the coefficients of the dividend in order of descending exponents. So I'm looking at number 4 here, and I think they are with descending exponents, like it's going down from a 3 to a 2, and this is my constant term, like a degree 0. So I'm going to put these in order here. I've got a negative 1x cubed, a positive 4x squared. I don't have any plain x's, so I'm going to say 0x and then a constant of 9. So yes, I did kind of squeeze in a 0x here. Okay, so then it says exactly right here, include a 0 for missing terms. That's where this 0 came from. And then step 2 is to write the k value. What makes the divisor equal to 0? Now, a divisor is what I'm dividing by. And it says that you are dividing that polynomial by the x minus 3. So x minus 3 is my divisor. And I'm going to figure out what makes the x minus 3 equal 0. So if I add 3 to both sides, it looks like my x equals 3. So the 3 is the k value that I'm putting to the left of step 1. Okay, so then next up, bring the leading coefficient below the line. So here's the line that I'm going to draw. And I'm going to bring the leading coefficient, like this first number, negative 1, below the line. And then we are going to multiply this number below the line by the k value. So we're going to do a negative 1 times 3 and write the product under the next coefficient. So I'm going to write it under here, under the 4. So negative 1 times 3 is a negative 3, and I write it under the next coefficient. Okay, so I add straight down. 4 and negative 3 add up to a positive 1. And then it's, start over again. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. So I will multiply the 1 times 3 is 3. And then I add straight down for 3. Now I take this multiplied by what's in the box. 3 times 3 is 9. So I put this 9 right here, and I add straight down. I'm going to erase this plus sign right here. It's a positive 9. I don't really need the plus sign. Okay, so we did that over and over and over again, and now we're on to step 6, where you separate the final number below. So this 18, last number there, I'm going to separate it from the rest of these numbers below the line. Okay, so what does this mean? This gave us our quotient. Now, because I started out with x to the third and I divided by a plain x, it's like I took out of these x to the third, the 3 x's that were multiplied together, I divided out one of them. So one of them's gone, I'm down to x squared. So this is like my 1x squared plus my 1x and then my constant. So again, I hit every exponent on the way down. So the quotient, I'll simplify it down to negative x squared plus x plus 3. And then the remainder is what's under this box here. The last number was an 18. That's my remainder. And then the divisor, what I was dividing by was the x minus 3. Okay, so my final answer is going to be just like it was with the long division. I do the quotient plus the remainder over the divisor. Okay, so here's my final answer. All right, so there's synthetic division. So I suggest, I'm gonna try another one. I suggest you guys push pause, give it a shot, and then once you're done, let's turn this back on and see if you got it right. All right, so let's look at the leading coefficients again. And I want to make sure I hit every exponent on the way down. So I had exponents of 3, 2, and then 1, 0. So yeah, I did hit everything on the way down. And their coefficients were a 1x cubed, a negative 1x squared, a negative 2x, and then a positive 8. So then I'm going to set my divisor here equal to 0. If I add 1 on both sides, my x is a positive 1. So that positive 1 goes in that box at the top. And then I'm going to draw this line down here, and whatever I have, my last number, that will be my remainder. So I bring down this first number 1, and I multiply by what's in the box. 1 times 1 is 1. Good. So then I add straight down. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. All right. right? Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. The 0 times what's in the box, 0 times 1 is 0, and then I add straight down for -2. Again, I multiply by what's in the box. -2 times 1 is -2, and then I add straight down for 6. Okay. So now that means my final answer is going to be the, instead of x cubed, I've got a 1x squared. So just x squared. I've got 0 x's and then a constant. So if I simplify this down, it's just going to be a plain x squared instead of 1x squared. I've got 0 x's. I don't need to write plus 0, so I'm just going to move on to the -2. And again, as far as adding a -2, it's overall subtraction, so I'll call it x squared minus 2. Okay, so there is my quotient plus the remainder 6 over the divisor, in this case x minus 1. All right. So when do I have to use long division instead of synthetic division? Like, obviously this seemed a lot quicker than the long division we did before, so I would pretty much choose this every time I could, but there are times when I have to do long division. So we have to do long division if the divisor, if what I'm dividing by is degree 2 or higher. So if this was like an x squared minus 1 in my divisor, that's a degree 2, so I would have to do long division. This one had x like to the first, so it had something I could use I could use synthetic division on. Okay, but if your divisor is a degree 2 or higher, you got to do the long division. So it takes a little while, but you guys got the long division. Okay, and then this one, synthetic division, I would do if you have just a plain x. All right, there we go.